Welcome and good evening. This is Big Time Super Friends, the show with movie and TV shenanigans. You could fire your arrows from the Tower of Babel, but you could never strike a god. Toby Kenobi.
Thank you for letting me in. I'm Marcus.
Who the fuck are you? I'm Brian. Is this what you want from me? Is this who I am? Who am I again? I'm Leo.
Leo. Just to give you guys a heads up, this is a spoilers review. I'm sorry if you guys haven't seen it. If you haven't, click away, save this on, add this onto your favorites, and come back to it whenever you have time, because we will be spoiling the shit out of it for you. With that, let's get this thing started. Brian, just out of curiosity, the positives. Go.
Oh, the positives. Oh, I thought we were starting on the negatives. Okay, positives. I think the movie had a really good intro. I think the opening scene was really good, bro. But, I mean, okay, so right off the bat, positive, I think the cast is good. The story is solid. It's not the most accurate representation, but it's a good story, I think. And I think for the most part, most of the performances by the actors and actresses, they were pretty good. That's my first, I guess, positive.
See, the thing is I didn't personally like the intro. I thought it was a slow intro. I didn't like the way...
I'm talking about just the apocalypse intro bit.
Oh,
that's what I'm talking about.
I see.
Yeah.
Even then, I didn't... I'll get to that as one of my negatives. But as far as the positives are concerned for me, I did like the new cast that they did bring in. This new Storm, Jean Grey, Cyclops. They actually, in my opinion, they redeemed Cyclops from the...
Really?
Yeah.
That was my one
no
gripe with
way,
the cast.
bro.
Cyclops.
No way.
Well, look at this. At least this time, Cyclops wasn't like some pussy whip guy. If you really think about it. And he actually showed his power off.
Yeah, he wasn't as weak.
But still, it's not the Scott Summers that we know.
Who do you know?
It's better than the one we had.
I don't know about that. It's debatable for me.
We'll save that for your negatives, Toby. But right now, this is the positive side of
right
things.
now, you want some positives out of me?
We'll go just all positives.
Okay, positives.
Nothing.
Xavier and Magneto are once again the best parts of this movie. I feel like Quicksilver,
stole the show, and I can
Nightcrawler.
See some people can say that.
Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
So you did like someone from the new cast, Nightcrawler.
Yeah, but it's also debatable for me who was better, Alan Cumming or this new guy. I forget his name. I think it's like Cody something. I'm not sure.
Okay.
What do you think of the opening?
I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed. I just enjoyed the Egypt aspect of it. The 3600 BCE. I think 3600.
Yeah, you're right. 3600.
Time period in this. I think the sets were cool. I enjoyed how he accrued his force horsemen. I
think those four horsemen weren't they different from the four horsemen that we saw in the Days of Future Past and those
were his original ones.
Yeah.
Those were his original ones.
Yeah,
I think so.
And he looked different. He didn't like.
He was a boy.
Yeah, like in the opening credits, he had the tech already on him.
So I remember him.
The
just being
celestial
a kid.
armor. Yeah.
No, he's talking about the beginning of this movie.
The beginning of this movie.
Well,
Yeah.
in this one, it clearly Apocalypse is just an entity that takes over bodies and uses
he just
the
goes
armor.
from one
so
to the next.
It doesn't matter who it is. In this case, it was gonna be Xavier.
Now, I personally like the intro aspect of it, but you know what I really missed is I wanted to see how Magneto acquired the technology aspect of it. They didn't show any of that. He just happened to be there.
Who acquired?
Magneto? Apocalypse. Sorry, I said
okay.
Magneto, but I meant Apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
How he acquired the armor.
I would have liked to seen that too. Yeah, definitely.
They didn't show that at
No.
all. Quicksilver for me knocked it out of the park. For me,
he was total scene stealer.
Again,
yeah.
And it was just, and you know what?
Sweet dreams are made
when that song came on, I already knew. Okay, we're about to encounter something.
Because I couldn't even tell what was coming up because everything was going and then everything just stops.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, what's going on? and you just see the silver shoes.
And the bee was like kind of like frozen, in time.
But the thing is like when he comes onto the scene, he always has memorable songs like like
time in a bottle.
Yeah, Time in a Bottle, and then Sweet Dreams. I don't think we've encountered. We still haven't seen his true like potential as far as speed is concerned. I think
so
he's
either.
pretty fucking fast. If he's able to save all those students.
Because it didn't even look like he struggled, really. It was just
yeah, he was like messing around.
Yeah.
He was drinking Coke, eating
Tab,
pizza.
bro, tab.
He's playing darts and shit.
Yeah,
That's a cool aspect of him is that they actually stop everything.
He also
and then
saved-
he just moves slowly, doing his thing here and there. And
He even saved the fish because remember he just
Yeah,
kind of
he just
slid.
took them all out. I thought he was gonna drink some water.
Yeah,
The Phoenix was a big
Okay,
positive
I would
for
say
me.
that.
Finally, her real powers and the flame around her coming out.
And I'll say this: I saw the movie twice. The day it came out, and then we just saw it today too. I got chills both times when the Phoenix came on. And you could just see like it's a close up of her face and everything, and like the flames behind her. I'm like, oh,
You know what? I liked the scene with Apocalypse and Xavier in the mine fight. That was pretty cool. He's like, you're in my house now.
I did like that, but I think they could have done that scene so much
Sure,
better.
but
right?
I like
think
that
so
he
too.
shined for a minute.
Yeah.
It was just his, a little solo.
Like
scene.
I'm glad that they did it, but it's like that should be like epic.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
should have been a little.
there's like
stronger.
no reality there. It's all based on.
it still came
like,
down to a fist fight.
Yeah,
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 it did.
exactly. And it was just like, and
I want to see some Inception style fights up in
Yeah,
there. You know what I
you know,
mean?
like-
Doctor Strange.
like
Oh, yeah.
multiple. I mean, we're talking about Apocalypse here. This is like
Yeah.
his mind should have like multiple layers upon layers. I mean, he's lived so many years, and we just got the Xavier house, but. At least he. It was nice to see Xavier throw some punches.
You know, another good thing for me was I had this thought in my head that Jennifer Lawrence was gonna really phone it in.
I thought she was gonna do.
I thought she was really like she was gonna phone it
From the
in
trailer?
from Neptune.
Yeah,
Yeah, from the
yeah,
trailer.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I mean, it's still bad. You know what I mean? But I mean, I expected far worse. Like, you know what I mean? Just like lackluster. Like, oh, okay, let's go. You know, type of acting. You know what I mean? I expected that.
I'll personally save that for my negatives because she is one of my negatives. The one thing that I saw it twice as well, and the one scene that constantly, I can't help but do this. But every time it happened, I would just kind of like I kind of prepare myself for this like emotionally is when they killed Magneto's daughter and
And his wife. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the minute the arrow leaves, I just kind of, I kind of brace
You
myself.
knew it was gonna
for
happen.
Yeah.
I wish I could have felt the same way because I didn't really get a connection there. You know, because maybe like they didn't spend enough time with his family. Maybe if they would have, I would have felt that way as well. But
For me, the reason why I felt bad is because we've seen Magneto now, this version of Magneto, like twice before, and we see him in his worst side. And the beginning of this movie, when he's sharing his family and he's sharing moments with his family and his daughter, or with his wife and his daughter, he's completely different,
Yeah.
completely.
The
So
sweet side of Magneto.
he's smiling. He's like, having a good time. You genuinely cares for his family, and then just that.
He's just trying to stay in the shadows, do his own thing.
As soon as that's taken away from him, I already knew, like, oh man, like this sucks. Like this is how he
I thought
turns
they were
to the
gonna
dark side a
show
little
him
bit.
kill all those coworkers.
I mean, they still died.
No, they were just
They
I
died.
mean, they can't
I mean-
breathe underground.
I felt how the first police that arrived and captured his daughter.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought they died pretty cool. You know, with the little locket
the
thing just
locket,
like
yeah,
slipping
zipping
into
through.
their necks and just
Easy,
boom. Yeah, it
not
was over.
not even a thing for him. It's just like, and it kind of reminded me of that one scene from Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit with the guy that the whistles and his arrow.
Yeah, his arrow, yeah.
yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that. I think, yeah. But that and what do you guys think about the Apocalypse final fight? Was it good enough to be warranted as a positive?
Not for me.
I'm gonna save that because it's one of my negatives.
Yeah, that's gonna be one of my
liked it,
negatives as
actually.
well.
I thought it could have been more, but
Not the fight per se, but just a little bit more generally speaking about it.
I just felt like there wasn't enough stakes. Like it didn't involve me like that to where
but
I
the
felt
world
like
was already getting destroyed. I mean,
Yeah.
that was the
Yeah.
biggest stake ever.
But they didn't really show it like affecting people. It's just affecting mutants. You know what I mean?
I don't care to see people being affected. I just want to see the fight with Apocalypse, and that's
Well, I
that's-
mean,
that is
really,
what
they kind
showed.
of did because when they started destroying the whole city,
bridge.
it's not like it's
Yeah,
empty
yeah.
city. Like
Yeah,
everyone
the
there is
bridge,
getting
the buildings
destroyed.
kinda
I mean,
fall.
Magneto's
I mean, we
already
could only
affecting
we
the
could only
polar
assume that there was
fields.
people there. I mean,
Fields.
yeah, but
Toby.
we didn't show like real people dying,
Toby,
did we? No?
there's people in those buildings.
You got
Yeah,
enough people
but-
dying in the facility, bro. With
I mean, we're talking like tall buildings, like they're just like tearing apart.
right.
I mean, it was cool, like graphically and everything, but
I will refuse to accept and believe that all those guys just like emptied out those buildings. They all cleared out, and then all.
I'm
the
not saying
destruction
that
happened.
either. I'm
Like,
not saying
there's
that either.
No way.
I'm
He
just
just
saying
want- he just
I
wanted to
wanted
see
to.
death.
Yeah,
He
I wanted
wants
to
to
see
see
death.
death.
Yeah.
I think Apocalypse was
PG-13, bro.
a pretty good. I think he was a very good villain because look what it took to actually defeat him. It took
Pretty much everyone there.
Xavier attacking his mind.
His mind, yeah.
The-
Magneto ripping off his armor.
Magneto ripping out. Well, I don't think he ripped off his armor. I think the armor
was the
flew
Phoenix.
off with the
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Yeah, it was like
It
burned
like
off.
flew off of him, but Magneto like stabbing
like,
him,
skewered him.
keeping him in
Yeah,
place.
you're right.
Cyclops
Yeah,
Phoenix
skewered
blasting
him.
him.
Yeah.
Cyclops blast, the storm, lightning,
Yeah.
and the
Cyclops'
and Cyclops' thing.
beam.
I mean,
Yeah,
they had to go all out.
they went ham.
And but do you think he's dead?
Yeah, they kind of
I-
showed his like bones, didn't it? Like when he got
Yeah, but that's a
disintegrated.
physical body. I think there's more to Apocalypse than just a physical form. But
I mean, it's an
It's-
essence.
but
of
it's right.
sorts.
But it takes the table to obviously transfer his essence to another form, another body.
Because
So,
I'm thinking if they kill him off, that would be kind of like a wasted villain for maybe possibly Cable.
an Ultron, if you
Yeah.
will.
You know?
Yeah, I don't think he's fully dead.
But
I
they
don't
could,
think
they could certainly mess with the timeline again.
Well,
I think
to
that would
where-
make us
if
care
Cable
less
gets
though if they did
involved,
that.
if Cable gets involved, for sure, they're going to mess with that timeline. Here's, oh my god, I'm trying to think of if there's any other positives before we jump into the negatives. We covered Quicksilver. You were most excited about seeing Psylocke.
Yeah, it was, but that's a negative for
We're
me
gonna
too.
save that.
Yeah, that was a
I
negative.
think when we saw the movie, I thought, okay, this is why I don't think he will like it, is because of Psylocke. I don't think she was going to live up to your standard, I guess. Let's see, what else? I can't think of any other positive other than the Magneto opening scene. Oh, by the way, they did showcase a couple of Magneto's and other mutants' powers. Like, for example, at the end, Magneto actually, this is the first time we ever see Magneto has that magnetic field.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, that was
like
cool.
we've never seen that.
Mhm, that was cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it actually can shift the planet. So
Yeah, the planetary.
that to me is kind of an
now he
indication
can.
of
what is it
this
called?
meteor,
the,
asteroid
the
M.
third force or something like that. Like the gravitational force of like magnetism
Yeah,
for the Earth.
His
Yeah.
power did get amplified, right?
It
Like
did,
when he,
yeah.
when
Did.
Parker held his
Yeah.
hand down,
Yeah.
that's when he did it.
He felt, he could connect with the Earth's core, basically.
Okay. Because I remember him telling him like, "Oh, you have the power to move the Earth itself." I'm like,
Basically.
is that just something that he already had?
No.
Magneto
No.
I mean,
already
it took
technically is
all
that
his
powerful,
power
you know
to
what I
move
mean?
that big satellite in first class. So that's
that's-
yeah,
that's
it
as
is.
good as he was
That's
at
true.
that point.
Yeah.
I'm excited going forward, like especially for like the potential for like a standalone Magneto
To
film.
me, that Magneto was a big plus in the movie.
Yeah.
I really
Oh, hell
enjoyed his
yeah.
performance.
Yeah.
All his scenes, everything that he
Agree.
was doing,
I
even
agree.
the happy moments that he got in the beginning of the movie. I love that about him.
Even with Xavier's moments in there,
Yeah.
I thought it was really, really good. Especially like the
also-
humor. It's very charming.
It also strengthened the connection between him and,
yes.
and Charles, obviously. It went back to the first movie, and it reminded me of how good their chemistry was in that first movie.
So he was definitely if it wasn't for Magneto, and if it wasn't for, I would say, Quicksilver for me. Oh, how can we? I can't believe I was going to go to the negatives before we even.
You're gonna talk Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Weapon X, man.
Weapon X.
Yeah.
Now, for me, when he came out, and he came out in the full-blown Weapon X outfit, I almost geeked out. I love that scene.
I did too.
That was a good intro.
There's only one thing of the costume that I was like, oh, I wish they would have added this, and that's
The helmet.
the
visor.
The visor part of the helmet. Yeah, I agree.
Closed
the full
Yeah.
closed visor.
helmet is what I would have wanted
but
to, but
I-
it's fine.
But you have to do it. It's almost kind of like a fan service.
I know.
thing, you know.
Yeah.
You have to
It
know
is.
it's Hugh Jackman.
Right.
Yeah,
I only had like one small like negative about that, and that was that really corny jump that he did in the beginning.
Oh, the
I, like, oh yeah, it's
I
like
enjoyed it.
that was
Oh,
that was bad,
It's corny,
man.
but
Like
it's
Oh,
fine.
come on, man. Wolverine's short, bro. He got to jump to get you.
I did like him pulling out those bolts from his body, though.
Oh
Each one,
yeah,
you could
see it.
You could see it healing.
Yeah,
healing
heal
right
at
after
the same-
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And I think it was, I mean, him slaughtering, going through.
That was his
I mean,
berserk
that was,
mode,
that was
man.
cool.
berserk
That was all the people
mode.
he wanted to see dead.
And it was pretty. If you think about it, it was
pretty
pretty
brutal.
Yeah.
There was this one guy that he took down to the ground,
And he
he's
just
he
sliced
still
him.
sliced
Yeah,
And
I would have liked to see that guy dead on the
Slice it
floor.
nice. And you know what? If it was a rated R, if they do that with his solo rated R movie, you know the blood's gonna be like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, splattering all over the joint. There was only one part in that whole thing where blood splattering against the wall, but the camera moved
followed.
away,
Panned away from him. Yeah, yeah.
and then you just saw the blood
Yeah.
like splatter. Even though that was one of my moments where I was like, yeah, you know, there was one little detail about it that I was just like, I wish he needed to be naked. He needed, dude. Come on,
Yeah.
he needed.
He
to be
wanted to
naked.
see those Wolver balls.
Yeah, we got to see the huge Jackman. You know. You know? I want to see the bub and everything. You know.
Ding ding.
I don't know. Maybe some Wolverine, you know, ass or something. You know, throw it up in there.
I thought they were at least gonna show the Wolverine ass a little bit.
the Wolverine ass.
Didn't they show the ass in X-Men
Yeah,
Days
they
of
did.
Future ass?
No,
Future ass.
Future ass.
Days of Future Past.
yeah, they did.
They did.
It was a
right?
big shot of it. I
I can't believe I said that.
I don't care.
Oh man! But that's my only little gripe that I had about that. If you're gonna pull out the weapon X,
or
for
at
the
least
first
some
time-
underwear, some skivvies, something where it's like, you know, he's exposed.
We want to see the weapon ass.
I didn't want to
I
see his
don't know,
little
okay.
Wolverine. Okay.
But it does open up. Oh, there was this one scene right before he ran away out into like the forest or something.
The wilderness.
The wilderness.
thought-
I think they did a good job with him and Jean because
Yeah.
that opens up
introduction, yeah.
the introduction to their connection together. Because she's the one that gave him.
She already
back
gave him something he
some of
wanted.
the memories. Yeah. So and you know what, the comedy. Before I can't.
Wait, before you move on to that, I wanna say another little part I didn't like about the Wolverine.
You didn't
was,
like?
well,
Didn't?
yeah,
Positive,
yeah,
bro.
was okay. It wasn't like really a
I'm gonna
negative.
lower
It
my
was just
score
me.
that I gave him,
It
bro.
was just me nitpicking, and it was like when Wolverine ran out into like the snow and behind the bushes, he was like. You know, I thought it was silly.
run like that.
But he was
Bro.
like jumping.
elbows like that.
Yeah, that's what I felt like.
Throwing elbows.
I know.
Like a cholo, full size.
I know.
PC walked out of there.
I
No.
I
he
thought it
ran,
made me
bro.
laugh.
Yeah,
It made
he
me
full-
laugh.
no, he full
It
blown
really
laugh.
made
His
me
khakis
laugh
were
going
creased
into
and
there.
everything.
Yeah, the Raiders hat on backwards and everything.
Nah, bro, you're exaggerating that shit, bro.
The shorts were the only thing that, even if he wasn't naked, the shorts were the only thing that bothered me. They looked too much like Bruce Banner post.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I can see that. Yeah.
But I don't let
We're
the
nitpicking.
jokes
We're
get
nitpicking.
to you. We're nitpicking. That scene was fucking
okay.
awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
it was awesome. Shorts and all.
Even just knowing there's something in this box, and you know, what's in there? An
He
animal?
was growling and stuff.
Actually, I didn't know it was him until he sniffed. He's like,
Oh no, I knew
like,
it as soon as
oh,
they
that's
showed that
like-
cage. I mean, it's
You kinda
Super
get it.
close.
That's
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Considering it was Stryker and everything, and then they were
you know
in
what
his
though.
base
I
and
did
stuff,
think
like, it
that
was
maybe
giveaway.
X-23 was somewhere else in that building, but I had sort of a feeling.
we'll talk about
when Stryker went to card out, so he's like, "I'll be right back." Obviously, he wasn't going to be back.
But I'll be back
Fuck
in
Get the fuck out of here. But I thought he was going to maybe release her.
Nah, bro, he's saving his own ass.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And he was making a beeline straight for him because he probably knows where that command center is.
yeah.
He made
Sure.
his way there and he killed all the guards within that command
Right.
center. Man, the Stryker. Is it me or does Stryker look a little bit like Stifler?
Like Sean Williams'
Just a
cat?
little
Yeah.
bit.
Yes, I
just
thought
a
it
tad.
was him. I thought it was him. I'm not kidding you, dude.
I think
When he put the
I think
aviators
he
on, I'm like,
accidentally
bro.
drank somebody's jizz.
You know-
That's why he had to excuse himself.
I know. I was
I'm
just
like-
really hoping to see his mom.
From the nose down, Stifler,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, all Stifler. I guess that covers the positives.
The
Unless
positives,
any of
yeah.
you guys have something else. Because by the way, the humor aspect. I keep saying we're gonna go, and then I remember something else. The humor aspect of it
It was good. Yeah.
was pretty good. It's
think
very
it was good.
subtle.
Magneto's introduction to Apocalypse. Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
And you know when Xavier went to the CIA building and it's like, oh, you know, I'm checking her. Or
Oh, does he have a husband? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. that was the funny part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
And also when Cyclops tore down that tree that his father
yeah.
built.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
Grandfather.
built, but
My grandfather
planted.
planted when he was
Yeah.
5. I think that was my favorite tree.
Yeah.
everything about
You're
it,
in.
humor wise, it hit. Everything that they wanted to make funny on purpose hit for me. Like there was no like, oh, they fumbled that fucking joke. Like was
Yeah, well,
I don't know. I
There
wouldn't
was
consider them
one kind of
fumbles.
lame thing when after they came out from Return of the Jedi. They were like, the third
right.
movie always sucks.
Well,
That
I enjoyed that
Like,
because
ah.
I enjoyed that because I
That's
think
the
they were,
debate about Star Wars usually.
well, no,
No, they're talking about
they're
X3,
talking
bro.
about
Yeah.
X-Men 3. They're poking fun of themselves.
That's true. That's true.
And that
I-
was the worst. I mean, if
Yeah.
you want to
right.
talk about it.
I was
some
actually
more,
thinking
but-
it was referring to this movie. Like, this is the
No,
third movie.
no.
First
X-Men
Class, Days of
3.
Future Past, and Age of Apocalypse.
X3, bro.
X-Men 3.
I don't know.
Open for interpretation, but I'm going to stick with X-Men 3. I don't think they would.
Last
I don't
Stand.
think
Considering
they
it's
would-
called X-Men 3.
I'm taking it verbatim.
I don't think they would. Make
He's
fun
talking
of
about Star Wars.
We're still talking about Return of the
I know.
Jedi to me. It's verbatim for me.
All right, negatives. Toby, you know what? You fucking kick it off.
All right, negatives.
He's like, I wrote a list.
let me get my phone out real quick.
On
Are you
Big Time Super
serious?
Friends, we know everything here.
We know everything. Psylocke. She's one of my favorite women characters in the comics, and I felt like they didn't really do her justice. The same with Aurora Monroe. I mean, the Storm. I felt like she just kind of joined him to join him, you know? And I was just like,
He saved her.
Is that enough?
And he had a
reason
lot
to-
of power. I mean, he just melted the guy into the wall, basically. So
I don't know. It didn't rub me right, you know?
I think it was half fear, half
Someone's gotta
power.
please you.
Look, it's an Aladdin complex. I mean, she was running away from these guys, and she's tired of running away. She's probably not at her full potential yet, and he unlocked her full potential instantly.
But Apocalypse has the ability to kind of persuade you, right? Or
Yeah.
convince you. Like, you know, when it came to Magneto.
Well, I don't want to die.
That too.
I'm just saying, when it came to Magneto, he's like, hey, listen, this is where your shit started.
Right,
You know what I mean? Like, do you want that to happen again?
right.
Well, he did that really only with Magneto.
That we know of.
Well, in the movie, he
I
didn't do
think
that
he
with
got
Storm.
everyone where they needed to be, got.
I don't know if that was like necessarily a power that he had, but he was certainly
I know, but he
a commanding presence.
Yeah.
As far as like trying to get what he wanted with words, I guess.
No, but
and
look, okay, with Storm,
his presence, you know.
he gave her the ability to overpower those that were overpowering her. With Angel, his wing was fucked up. He gave him metal wings that will never fuck up. He can shoot people with them now. With Magneto, he showed him his past and said, "Let me show you your future. You can
Or
now
at
move
least
the
what it
planet,
could be."
or what it could be. Yeah, like, you can move the planet now.
And with Psylocke, you're cool.
I'll
You
give
got a
bigger
laser
blade.
sword, yeah.
You got a bigger blade. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just me being like I really hated that they didn't expand on her character. I guess
Not
like
at all.
personality wise.
I kept seeing Olivia Munn, not Psylocke. That was my
Yeah,
gripe
me
with that,
too.
you know?
Well, the thing is,
That's
it's
it.
like, okay, I do see those points where they didn't take the time to make the Four Horsemen shine.
Because rumor has it that she wasn't even going to be the fourth horseman. It was going to be Xavier. And they just
Really?
kind of threw her in at the last minute. So, like, I understand that too now. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, he did use Xavier.
yeah.
So
He did.
I mean, I don't think he was part of the Horsemen or anything like that. But I see what people's gripes were when they say that they didn't focus too much on the Horsemen. But
Sure.
at the end of the day, this is an apocalypse movie, and they get fucking second
row.
second row, third row.
Right.
Actually, they get like fourth row because the New Mutants get it. Professor Xavier and Magneto get first row, second row, and Wolverine. I mean, I don't. Jean Grey actually did a pretty good job with expanding on her story a little bit more.
I didn't really care for Jean Grey in this movie. It didn't do
I've
anything
always
for
wanted
me.
to see Jean Grey's Phoenix powers unlocked, especially from X2,
Yeah.
right? Where they show you in the waters the Phoenix shape, whatever, shadow. So I felt that was a little fan service was done with that. I think it was just.
As far as like the whole movie is concerned, I felt like it was kind of choppy and like it was.
You're fucking insane.
I didn't.
You are
I
insane,
wasn't
sir.
My
following
score that I
it.
gave
Like
him, cut
it,
that in half.
you know what? It was just the one.
Watch.
I wasn't interesting to
Future
me. Like
Past was
there was
choppy.
interesting parts in the movie, but I was like bored and yawning throughout the movie.
Well, okay, so here's one of my negatives. Now that you bring it up a little bit, is the first hour, which I don't mind. Okay, personally, it doesn't bother me, but I can definitely see how it would bother someone else. Is they took an hour pretty much as the build up
to gather the squad.
to gather the squad on both ends, right?
Right.
And then really it's the last half hour that was action worthy. The only action scene we got is maybe Quicksilver in the first hour.
It's X3 all over again.
You know? But personally, I don't mind. I don't mind the slow build up as
I don't
long as
either.
it pays off at the end. And for me, it did pay off at the end.
Yeah, it did.
Could it have been better?
so.
Yes, it
Sure.
could have been. Okay, but here's one of my. So that was part of one of my gripes is it took too long to get to the pang. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, here's a little minor gripe. I don't know if you guys caught it or not, or if it even bothered you guys or not. When Apocalypse is standing next to his horseman, I just thought that guy is short as fuck. Like he should be like at
Tall.
least a good foot and a
You're
half
talking about like
taller.
when they come up into
Magneto's
the
really
mansion
tall,
and
so-
stuff, and like the
Well,
whole
yeah.
squad roll up, and he's like shorty.
He's like, yeah, and he's in the front, so that naturally makes him look taller.
That was one of my gripes in the sense where I felt like Apocalypse was
It was
his the extent of what he actually is and his powers. I think were severely underdone. I think because he is like kind of one of the end all be all villains of of the X-Men universe, and I feel like you didn't really see much other than some glowing eyes and like some hand movements.
Like the glowing eye
Controlling matter.
thing kind of threw me
Yeah.
off too because it reminded me of like the
Dematerializing
original trilogy from the X-Men where Storm would like
Yeah.
control her powers. That's what it reminded me of. I was like,
Considering
on.
Storm also did that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you got two characters going wide-eyed.
Yeah, I know.
I definitely see that and agree with you, but at the same time, look what it took to beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
but
it harps down to that.
But the thing is, though, I think everyone knows what Apocalypse can do.
Not
it just-
everybody. I don't think so.
Well,
There was
Comic
there
readers
was
know.
literally a guy behind me. There was two guys okay?
Farting.
I mean, besides farting, there was two guys behind me that his friend. I can hear him whisper over to his friend. That's Wolverine. That's Wolverine. And the guy
shit.
didn't know the fuck Wolverine was. Okay, I'm just saying there are those guys that are just like I don't know who the fuck.
all right, well,
Apocalypse
okay,
is.
maybe, but I still think that he was underused. With his
He was
abilities.
underused, and you know what? I'm so bummed that I didn't get to see this. Apocalypse shapeshifts.
Yeah,
We didn't see that at all.
Yeah.
Apocalypse also can like change his arms to like
He can.
a ram, a
Yeah.
yeah, battering ram.
battering ram. You know, like he can do so much
There
with his
wasn't any
body.
big doors to knock down.
But he was literally like control sand, boom, white eyes, and
And the only time you saw him get bigger was in the mind
dream,
sequence.
Yeah,
you
in
know
the
what I
mind
mean?
sequence.
I think the only cool power that he had that was like really of function was that whole teleporting thing. That wasn't
Yeah.
really teleporting, but it was like a phasing almost of a phase teleport. That was cool because it encased them in like a purple thing, and it made a noise, which was kind of cool. You know,
It made a noise.
It made a noise. It was like.
Skynet hooked him up with that.
I did like how he could, he did get hurt and he was regenerating even when he was being tagged by the Phoenix, the Phoenix.
Yeah.
He was like burning away and then
Right.
regenerating at the
Right.
same time. So I mean, it was, I think his regeneration is probably better than Wolverine's. I would say, maybe.
Probably, because Deadpool's is better than Wolverine.
So
I mean, the guy who he got it from. I mean,
Yeah, he
they
regenerated
barely
instantly.
cut it, and it was
healed.
Yeah.
really quick.
So, I mean, yes, it took a lot to beat Apocalypse, point on this side, but also we didn't, I don't think we even saw I think we only saw 40% of what Apocalypse can do.
You know what the other thing with Apocalypse is that, and I've said this before, he didn't sound intimidating to me.
I don't think he needed to.
Well, when you got people behind you sitting, hey, that's Wolverine. You might need to, you know.
I don't think he
I
needed
think-
to. I think
I'm just saying,
I was okay with his voice.
when he melts your shit to the wall,
because his voice would modulate every couple of words.
Sometimes
you
Yeah.
would hear it
with like an
modulate.
echo kind
Yeah,
of thing to it. Yeah. I mean, I just don't. He was short. All of his powers weren't being
Showed,
shown,
yeah.
and his voice was
Yeah, I
just,
get it.
I just want something a little bit more deep, more intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like something like that.
You should have been his voice, dude.
You know?
The
Hey.
guy who
For hire, Marvel.
did Zoom's voice
Or
in the
Fox,
Flash.
really.
Zoom's
He-
voice sounds a little more intimidating.
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
Apocalypse. Okay, here's another. I have a list of gripes, but they're very, very small, and they shouldn't affect my. They're not going to affect my.
Let me go
end.
next then.
What
on
the
the grapes.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
No, I mean after you.
Oh, okay. So my next gripe is, this is our first time seeing Jubilee on the screen. She did
She
nothing.
didn't do shit.
Yeah.
She was
She
just
did
in class.
nothing. There was no fireworks, no nothing.
I was waiting to see fucking
Nothing.
Taylor Swift and shit.
I know, man.
As Dazzler?
That's one of my cons, bro. My
Yeah.
my gripes on it, bro. No Dazzler.
So yeah, I mean,
She was in music class.
1989.
and this is, I mean, the first time you show a very, very popular mutant. I mean, we're talking like people know who Jubilee is, even from the cartoons,
Yeah.
and she doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
She
I
has
think that was
her
a lost opportunity.
She had
And I
her.
legitimately think that was a good casting choice.
She had
for
her
Yeah,
signature Brett the
Trench
Hitman
coat,
heart.
glasses.
Yeah, glasses and
the
trench
jacket and
coat.
everything like that.
Yeah. I thought that was cool, but aside from that, she didn't really do anything cool.
She didn't do anything.
It was
Yeah.
there was bigger news about her being in the movie than her actually.
In fact, I don't even.
She didn't do anything. She
I
didn't
don't
have a
think
line.
She even said
She
anything.
didn't speak a
I
line.
think she did one line.
No, because in the class when she first got introduced, she just raised her hand first.
No,
and
but
then
coming out of the theater, which I was mentioning
Yeah.
earlier, she said something.
Oh. She's
Yeah.
talking about Empire Strikes Back being the best movie.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it.
That's it.
That's it.
She was joyriding.
Now, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm just going to say maybe she hasn't mastered her powers yet. Maybe she's a new student.
She's a new student. Yeah.
I'm just going to go with that. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
I can see that too because the cartoon's not canon,
No,
right?
at all.
No.
Even like in that first episode,
So
I'm just going to
Wolverine
use it though. You know, when
saving
she
her?
was first, yeah,
Right.
like she didn't know anything. She
Sentinels
was scared.
attacking her in the wall.
Yeah, first they have Sentinels
Like, I
attacking
don't-
you and shit.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that was Sentinels at the end of the movie, right?
Yeah, those are the.
Okay.
In the
huge
warp,
air vent
yeah.
on their chest.
Right.
See, that's okay. I'm going to go slightly a little bit back to the positive on that. We got to see the war room.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
at the
cool.
End, and Cyclops rocking his new visor,
Visor.
like it's all
Yeah.
like
And his
chrome
signature look
style.
with the
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the signature kind of
strap
like,
over the chest,
the
yeah.
X is like over here.
all of them had their looks. Nightcrawler with the red and the
Raven
white
with
gloves
the
and
white
stuff.
streak here. For the
Yeah,
dress.
they all had their classic looks.
All
at the
of
end.
that was awesome, and if they do
Did
make
Nightcrawler
another one,
have
Except for he did.
His shoulder. His
He didn't. It was
pauldrons?
cut off, but it was still red in the middle. He had
Right.
the white gloves and the
Okay,
white boots.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah.
and
The
if
only
they,
one I didn't got anything was Beast because he was still in a
He
suit,
just had
but
blue.
he just
Right.
has underwear
He had
on.
the buckle.
oh my goodness, I got to see that too.
Yeah.
Huh? The naked beast
Yeah,
with just the underwear.
The naked beast. Which-
was he had a blue underwear, so it kind of like matches his whole
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
It was
All
like,
blue.
kind of looks naked.
Yeah.
And he had the little X on his little.
Yeah, on the side. His buckle.
So if they do go with another X-Men, and they will make another X-Men, keep the same cast.
Yeah.
I would say keep the same cast because
I mean, just for consistency's sake.
for consistency's
Yes.
sake, and you get to expand a little bit more of their powers. Maybe we get to see a Jubilee. Maybe Gambit will join next time. Maybe we'll see a Colossus.
You
in
know,
it.
another positive for me was that Psylocke just kind of went away. So maybe
Yeah.
they could use
Well,
her.
she was outnumbered.
Yeah, she was like,
walk
screw
out
this.
that way.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
one of my gripes with Psylocke is
She just kind of disappeared.
Well, just in general, and this is again just kind of nitpicking. I don't think it's nitpicking, but I think the consistency with some of their powers threw me off. Because I'm going to take the Psylocke and Beast fight, for example. She has the thing, and he's throwing like a wall at her, and she's chopping it in half, like cutting it up. But when she goes to the whip and wraps it around his neck, like that should kill him. You know, that should cut his head off. But it's like being dragged and like thrown and shit. Like
It's no longer a sword; it's a lasso.
I know, but it's still made from the same.
like psionic
Energy,
energy.
But it's
Yeah,
not.
but
It's not
but
a blade.
but it's all flaccid.
It's not a blade.
I don't know, man. And let's take for example, team. This is just kind of nitpicking. I don't know, but when Angel and Nightcrawler were fighting, Magneto's up there pulling metal from the bottom of the ocean, but he gets trapped in a metal cage. How does that not get up? You know, how is that still on the ground?
That's true.
How is Angel himself not being pulled up, going backwards?
Or Angel himself with his metal wings. Okay,
literally what I just said.
Well, I think he's
Well, no,
controlling.
you're talking
something.
about the cage.
No, I said Angel himself, bro, going flying backwards.
Well, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say Magneto is in full control of his shit.
Yeah.
Like, he's
on
very
his team,
selective.
dude. He's on his team.
Or else
Maybe, but that he should pull up the cage that surrounds him.
He was
That should
too
have been
busy with
long
something
gone.
else.
he was probably busy.
He was too
man.
busy pulling shit from the bottom of the ocean. He couldn't notice this huge metal cage in front of him. Come on, man.
Hey,
It's just- some inconsistencies like that. It just kind of threw me off. And another thing is, in the very beginning, with Nightcrawler, what does he says? She's when Mystique says, "How far can you go?" He says, "Oh, as long as I can see it,
Or
I've been there."
Yeah.
Well, then why was he getting electrocuted in the cage fight in the beginning? He could see outside the cage.
It's just anything electrical interference is the thing that
Yeah. It
stops
looks like
him.
it stops.
Yeah.
him, yeah.
So that's why when they brought him out in the
cage was
chest,
magnetized.
It was like yeah, it had.
But I think that
magnetized
cage
or
actually
some
reduced
shit.
their power somehow.
Electrified.
Well, then Angel wouldn't have been able to fly.
What? What
He was
happened?
flying inside that cage, though.
What happened?
Yeah.
The cage like nullified their
No.
powers.
No, it was just
there was a
electricity.
electrical field around them.
Yeah,
so he couldn't
could
teleport out.
within it,
Yeah.
just not out of it. Just like how he couldn't teleport.
I don't
Does
know.
that make
man.
sense?
Yeah,
I don't think
I
that makes
know.
sense,
And,
bro.
and when he teleported Jean Grey and Cyclops into the helicopter, he couldn't teleport them out either because he also made that comment like, "Hey, there's this electrical field around here somewhere."
He
I
says
can't
they
do
have
anything."
something up.
Right.
Yeah.
but it makes sense. It stayed consistent.
And that the
consistent.
chest that he was in was electrocuted on the outside. So
Yeah.
it was a
But think
electrical
about
field
it though.
in there,
If following that logic, he couldn't do anything from within there. But if you're following that same logic to the beginning cage fight, he was still teleporting in there. So
But inside,
If
not,
he could teleport
there was enough space.
inside.
There was
But
enough
when
space.
he was in the helicopter,
There's no
Jean
room.
Grey and Cyclops were saying teleport us out of the helicopter. He said I couldn't do that.
it's just nitpicking.
Of course.
You know, the cage, the metal cage thing, and then the
Inconsistencies,
Psylocke
minor
powers just
inconsistencies,
kind of
You know, the point of it was just to say that hopefully they could reuse Psylocke in a different movie. Was the original point. I mean, you know, that I was trying to make. I was like, I really want her to be in a different movie and expand upon her.
Maybe with a different actress, maybe?
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
she was good.
I think she was good.
I think she was good.
You know who would have been better? The girl who's playing Elektra in Daredevil.
Maybe.
Way better.
Sure.
Because she was British, she was Asian
I'll
and
say
British, and that's who Psylocke is. She's
I see.
British
She's more
and Asian.
athletic. I
Yeah.
said no.
Nah, he doesn't like the
about it.
flip flopping, bro.
No,
She's
no
Elektra.
flip flopping. No
She's
flip
Elektra.
flopping.
No, I know, but I mean, it's impossible
that's
now.
it.
Yeah.
It's
When it comes to the Nightcrawler thing that you were talking about, I'm glad that they even did that. They did put limits on him because I like people having limits to their shit, or else
Sure,
it'd be
sure.
all Omega level.
Right.
Well, that's true too, and this I think it was kind of touched upon, but only if you really knew about it. And we were just talking about this. Mystique is Nightcrawler's mom,
Right.
but they made no reference to that in
Yeah.
the movie at all. I mean, at all. Granted, she's like goes and saves him and pulls him out of the cage and shit like that, but you don't know why she does that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why.
Yeah.
When you really think about it.
Speaking of her, okay, this is another one of my gripes. Most of our videos probably going to be all full of gripes, but I mean, it's sounding like it's uneven, but I'm still having a positive score at the end. But there was just so many little things. Like, first of all, I didn't know about the Nightcrawler being Mystique's son.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't make any reference to that at all. If you didn't tell me that, I would never have known. I would have just been like, whatever. It's just another friendship or something. I don't know. But the fact that they are going away from the canon story, I guess, a little bit. But here's my main gripe with Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence, every single goddamn line she said out of her goddamn mouth was like monotone. It was like not delivered.
But it's Mystique, man.
It
It's not.
wasn't-
It's not.
It wasn't delivered, son.
It
wasn't delivered.
It's not Hunger Games.
She
dude.
delivered
It's-
it from Neptune, man.
It was. This was, look. This was literally a Jennifer Lawrence that happened to be Mystique, not the other way around, and that's what bugs me. I don't want to see Jennifer Lawrence's fucking face. If your character is fucking blue, scaly, and pasty, that's what I want to see.
Look at Beast.
But
I mean, they even had a line about it where it's
Yeah.
like, "You're not blue, neither are you."
Hank
guess-
McCoy, I would argue, was more, because he was human form too.
Yeah, more
right?
blue than regular.
He was more blue than regular. He was more blue than Jennifer Lawrence was Mystique, and she
She's
had
more
more
Beast.
screen time. Think
True.
about it. She only turned blue when
I think-
she got like Sonic
Look,
Boom.
just
by
remember she's being
Stryker.
looked for. That shape, that form. Obviously, in Egypt, there's a wanted poster, so she's not going to walk
Yeah.
around as Mystique anymore because she's wanted. They know that form. They're going to look.
And what did she say? She said it herself. She's like, why am I going to walk around in a form that's not accepted still?
for right.
I think that was just a cheap cop out to the.
I think you're a cheap cop out.
the restrictions she had on her last contract, saying that she didn't want to spend 6-7 hours getting in makeup.
Dude, you gotta fucking do it, man.
I know you do.
Imagine Oscar Isaacs.
That fool
Full
went.
blown.
I'm not gonna be purple
Oh, wow.
anymore.
He hung up the whole movie.
Yeah.
The only time he wasn't
Intro.
The only time.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be Ivan Ooms
He was
anymore.
laying down.
Because he was the guy that he was the guy that
He was making
sliced
memes.
open.
Yeah.
You know,
he was just
that
making
guy.
memes the whole time.
But if he's in it, god damn it,
Yeah.
Just give me the Poe face.
it's like
Poe Dameron face, bro.
Damn, Ron.
any other negatives? Because
I have one, and it's just kind of nitpicky.
The,
also,
the
still.
Phoenix Force.
No,
For
that
me.
was one of the
For
really
me, yeah,
best
it's
parts
like,
of the movie.
Force.
I
Like
really
really,
like
that was
part.
your
I did too.
that was
I
your
did
like
too.
you unleashing your real power.
This is her
I mean,
first time though.
It's her first time.
It's her first time.
I
Toby.
felt
okay,
like
what
it
did
was.
you wanna
I
say?
felt
And she
it
has
was
felt like
weak.
she's gonna be like,
It was.
I'm
It was.
full-blown
No.
master.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like that was her full power. Like she
walked in
has,
the air,
she,
man. She was. She's never
aside
done that.
aside from her Phoenix.
I
Like
mean-
let's take that out of the equation. I felt like her
Look.
psionic powers were.
She walked in the air. I know it's not a big deal, but it's just showing her she's breaking the rules of Earth. Like
Yeah.
she's no longer being bound.
But
by
she
the
could have
rules
done that
of
anyways
man,
because
almost.
that's part of her power set.
So.
I'll take
But
Toby's on that one.
But she didn't know that.
Yeah, she didn't.
She was a new student.
She was having just dreams.
I give you that one.
See, that's
Nightmares.
the thing is that she is a new student. That's why I'm kind of like I'm not so hard on this
Let me-
movie because for all I know, this is like their first year.
You know what? Another thing is
You
there was
know
a
what I
ripple
mean?
connection between when Apocalypse shook the Earth and when she was having that dream, and she was
Yeah.
having another episode apparently of something that reoccurs.
And I should have thought of it because she was kind of melting the walls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, you didn't see
Right.
that? You didn't connect the dots?
No, I didn't, and I was like, why would they be melting?
Well, the
like,
fire coming out.
yeah,
heat,
I mean, like
yeah.
I didn't put two and two together, but I just felt like adding the Phoenix Force in this movie was they were trying to like redeem themselves from Last Stand. And
No, I
like,
wanted to see it.
bro,
You know what? From the
just
beginning,
just
when
give
they
it to
showed
me in
that-
another trilogy.
From the beginning when they showed that,
Do
I
it
thought
then.
No, come on.
she's
man.
gonna have to tap into the Phoenix powers.
You're putting too
to
much
do
in
it.
here.
Because if
Phoenix and Apocalypse,
didn't
then
say
like
that, following your
giving
logic, one at a
giving
time.
Magneto freaking Omega level powers and like everybody else, and like I just felt like it felt
Following-
really overstuffed for
following
me. I was
that,
like,
Would you
Get
have
that
stuck
weak
around
shit
for
outta
another
here.
trilogy to wait for that?
Yeah,
Hell
I would have.
No, you wouldn't have.
Yes, I would have.
And I'm glad they went with the Phoenix thing to like in this fucking movie because
Yeah, that's what it took.
It goes back to what we were saying, what I was saying a few podcasts ago, where I was like, I want them to expand to the Shi'ar Empire.
Yeah.
And you might as well fucking start, at least give a start to the fucking Phoenix Saga.
Yeah.
You might, I don't
A
want
teaser.
another trilogy, another 10 years
And
to set up.
and
that
think about it.
fucking
Think about
thing.
this. When we have Cable coming up and shit like that, what happened? Like Cable is not born of Cyclops and Jean. It's Cyclops and a clone of Jean.
Jean.
And the reason that the clone is there is because the Phoenix Saga happens and Jean dies. You have to move the story along.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So-
who creates that gene, that fake gene? Mr. Sinister.
Yeah.
Who they're setting up this story. If
Yeah.
you, the
Yeah,
end credit
that's what I'm
scene
saying.
is
You
That was
have to
definitely-
do
that
it.
was a
It's
good
an
setup.
introduction.
It's an introduction to Mr. Sinister at the end
Right.
credit scene, and he's the guy responsible for creating the fake gene that Cyclops fucks and impregnates, cream pie style, and that's when Cable comes
Some
out.
money shot up in there.
You won't see that on cable.
But that's what I'm just saying. First time Phoenix.
It's legitimate. I think
Yeah, I thought it was
fine.
legit too. Yeah.
But I
You're
mean,
just hating. No, you're hating.
no, check it out, check it out.
But
What you're saying in the new trilogy is they're gonna have Mr. Sinister and the Shi'ar Empire and the Dark Phoenix.
No. I'm saying it introduces Mr. Sinister will obviously be in the next one, but after that is done, then maybe
So you're
you
gonna
can
say that that's gonna be a standalone X-Men film, Mr. Sinister.
Absolutely.
Then they're gonna do
Well, see, the thing is,
a
though-
new trilogy.
Well, no,
aside
no,
from
I-
that.
I don't think they're gonna do
I
a
think
new trilogy.
They're not going to do that. I think if anything,
So
you're
how
gonna-
would they
whatever-
how would they get to the Phoenix Force then?
Well, they've already introduced it, so we already are there.
Yeah.
this
We're already there.
the Mr. Sinister stuff and this Weapon X and all this stuff, this is a tie-in to Wolverine 3,
Yeah.
which is going to be a tie-in to anything else going on in the future. When the Weapon X thing comes up, that's what's his name, Nathaniel Essex. That's Mr. Sinister.
Yeah.
He is also responsible for creating X-23,
Right.
which I think is what we're going to see
Yes.
in the next Wolverine.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that that's a fair assumption.
And we'll
And-
know a lot more because this new Wolverine movie, New Wolverine 3, it takes place in the future.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like a Western kind of apocalyptic future from what I hear. So whatever happens and whatever we see there, I suspect will...
Do you suspect we see a Cable there?
I think we will see
I don't know.
the start of Cable there. Well, I don't know because he's supposed to be in Deadpool 2. You wouldn't introduce him before then in Wolverine 3.
I heard that
This is why I
Sabretooth
feel like
making
they're gonna mess with the
reappearance.
timeline again because like if
Omega
they
Red.
if they introduce Cable in Wolverine 3, he would have to go back into because he's already in a future like
Deadpool.
dystopia kind of, you know what I
Look
mean?
at it
Western.
this way. The minute you introduce Cable, you're fucking with the timeline
Already.
anyway.
Yeah, already.
That's like by default it's fucked
The way
up.
that Cable is already a paradox. Like, he is born as a child and then he goes into the future to become who he
The
is,
wild man from
to
Borneo.
go back to the past.
Yeah.
So you're it's-
talking mind trip
Yeah.
to the 10th power.
to the nth degree.
I mean, Cable's complicated.
What does the
You
N
can't-
stand for?
You know, you can't
Just throw nth in there.
to the
I
Nth
will.
degree,
I
bro.
will make a prediction. Next movie, Sinister will be the bad guy. Clearly, he's going to be the bad guy. Okay, just like the end credit scene was Apocalypse, and we got Apocalypse. End credit scene of this one is Mr. Sinister. We're going
Right.
to get Mr. Sinister.
As Bryan Cranston.
Hope
No?
not. No. But whatever happens
Those
in
rumors.
that movie, you got to you know for sure the Phoenix power is gonna
It's going to resurface. It's, going to show.
it's gonna evolve
Yeah,
to a
for
little
sure.
bit more of a more powerful level.
I think you're going to see it on the positive side with Jean Grey before
For the next
it actually
movie.
takes
Right,
over
right.
and it goes downhill.
and the next movie will be in the 90s. You know it's going
Right.
to skip over 10 years. So I mean that's what they've been doing every
what they're
10
talking about, yeah.
years. So it's just
93.
there's clearly, guys, from hearing this, there's a lot of positives, a lot of speculations, a lot of negatives.
Look, I think the average moviegoer won't give a shit about the things we're griping about because we know the backstory.
yeah.
Yeah.
You want an outside view of the movie?
Enough to actually say, wait, this is missing and this is missing.
Yeah.
They're just doing a cinematic
You just want
version
to
of
watch
it.
a movie.
Yeah, that you can just watch over and over again. Or in this case, just
And
for
just
the
have
weekend.
regular gripes about, like the
Yeah.
CG.
Sure.
For me, that was
Yeah,
one of the
that
gripes.
looked bad, yeah.
That was one of the gripes.
Yeah, I had that too.
The See,
where Storm is gathering her powers.
I think that too.
Yeah,
I think when the shipping crates are coming off the ship.
Yeah, that looked very CGI.
And
I
the
can
worst
see that.
part for me was when Sarlacc was sliding on the building.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, dude.
yeah.
Or
You know-
when she got flown off the plane and she's like,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
I'm like,
Free
bro,
falling, yeah.
come on, man. That looks like PS1 graphics.
A nice little nod in there was Caliban was the mutant that
Caliban's
knew.
like you.
Yeah. Well, in the comics, he's a mutant that can sense the X gene in other mutants, and he can find them just by scent.
he was part of the Four Horsemen.
Yes,
too.
he was. Yeah, that I just thought it was like a nice little nod to him, even though because in the comics he looks kind of like a purple demon, like short, stubby little demon, and here he's like this, skinny guy, very skeletal and
Bug-eyed.
bald. Yeah, so
Some in the background of Blade.
All right, guys. Rating time. Who wants to go first?
Okay, I'll go first because I've only seen it once. Okay,
Okay.
so I said stepping out of this movie, I liked it better than Civil War because I feel like there was a lot of fan service to it. Obviously, Civil War had it, but I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
What about you, Brian?
Only on one viewing.
When I first saw it, I wanted to give it anywhere between a 7.5 and an 8. I'm still within that realm, but upon seeing it a second time, I'm going to say a 7.5. 7.5.
All right. When I saw it the first time, I gave it an 8.5 to 9. And then the second time I saw it, I saw the things that didn't bother me at all the first time somehow bothered me the second time. And that's like Jennifer Lawrence's performance, Jubilee not showing her fireworks. There's just little things, Apocalypse not shape-shifting like how he could be doing.
No ram fist.
So I'm gonna go with a solid 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I'm gonna stick with that. I still like the movie. I mean, for all its flaws,
You know what
I enjoyed it.
Noticed too? Just a little side note. Anyone else notice in the very first fight with Angel and Nightcrawler that the person that he beat originally was the
Blob, yeah.
the Blob.
I didn't notice that until
But
the
he
second
knocked
time
out.
around.
Yeah. He didn't kill him. He knocked him out.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't see that until the second time around.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All right,
Yeah.
Toby, give me your
cut
3.5.
that score in half.
okay.
Let me see your 3.5.
Cut a full point down for me.
Going to this movie, I didn't have a whole lot of expectations.
You never do.
Maybe that was a good thing.
I hate everything all the time.
It just
This movie gave me no happiness.
1.7. That's what I view.
No,
it.
you.
It's worse. It is worse.
I'm out.
It is worse than Batman versus Superman.
No.
Batman versus Superman did more for me than this movie. Batman hiding behind rocks did more for me than this movie.
1.7.
1.7. You get a 1 for the Quicksilver scene and a 7 for all the other little good things.
You are fucking with me. I guessed that you were gonna give it a 6, and then mid-show, I said cut it in half. He's gonna give it a 3.
What did you think?
You
What
cut
did
it
you
in half
think?
again.
I said 6.5 to Nessa. I was like, there's no way he's going to get it past the 6.5. At the worst, I was thinking you were going to do a 3.5.
Again.
At the worst.
Leo, he don't even want to be on the show.
He's personally offended. I am too, but I'm just
I'm personally offended that Leo ranked this better than Civil War. Civil War is a flawless movie, bro. I gave that a 10. I have to, and I don't want to.
Jesus Christ.
I think Toby fucks with us on purpose.
I think so, man. Fuck.
It's a 1.7. It didn't do nothing for me.
I like how he
Try harder.
I like how we always
Try
give
harder.
We always give it an even number or a 0.5. He broke all the rules. He said a 0.7. I can't believe that.
Look at Leo. He's dying. He's dying.
We got so mad this camera lowered. I'm cut off now. I can't believe it.
That was Leo getting up. Because I think he jumped.
God damn. Anyways, please like, share, and subscribe.
God damn.
That's it, folks. Bye.
Damn, bye.
Welcome to Let Me Do That Again. I forgot the line. I forgot the line before I started it.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Everybody ready?
Okay.
I like how we're like we're about to do a marathon. Like we're fucking.
You gotta get loosened up.
Yeah. Like we're about to ready. Yeah.
You guys are literally
I know.
I'm about to pump.
I know.
Oh.
We're just like.
About to pump up, fool. Let me do some push-ups.
Let's do some push-ups. Put fucking the Rocky theme.
like a spoiled
Okay.
God damn.
Ready?
Let me stretch my legs.
And he's
Time
like,
to sit down.
all right, all right,
Okay.
all right.
You got your running shoes on?
Yep, got him. And I felt like running.
He's gonna shit himself.
Yeah.
I'm good.
You sure? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're back a dude behind you.
Okay. No, shut up. Welcome and good evening. This is Big Time Super Friends, the show with oh my fucking god.
Damn, bloopers.
That has to be a blooper, bro.
We're all finally ready.
And a-
You didn't get it on the.
Hey, wet some of those paper towels.
Okay. That was funny.
Damn.
This is
Watch
gonna be
the
an
cup again, fool.
excellent,
Put it in the middle.
excellent blooper
He's gonna spill it again. Watch.
on that
Now
shit.
you're gonna scroll on that, fool.
No, I'm good. God.
I don't know. He's all
That's
cautious.
not gonna laugh, fool.
He's all cautious.
Shit.
Ready?
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
I'm the Chronicles are ready.
Ding! Before the show even start.
Shit, Brian. You're making me sweat, bro. Shit.